Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk about a little more on my thoughts of the future. I already made a video explaining that I believe the year 2016 is going to be a memorable year. Not necessarily good memorable, but it'll be remembered, and for the United States. I'm not sure if it's going to be the United States as an empire or the greatness of the United States. Greatness, to achieve greatness, it's when things are really bad and you're faced with something that's beyond anything that you've ever experienced before, and it's a life-changing experience. Now, the greatness might be what other people see in you. I mean, you have a Medal of Honor people, and more than likely they weren't thinking of greatness when they did things that would be supernatural for them. They did something that was beyond what they thought they're capable of doing. And they did it. And they are recognized for their greatness. But there's times when we do things on a personal level that makes greatness in you. But the only time you can achieve this greatness is when you take on things that really you really shouldn't. Things that you really believe you're not capable of doing. And you take them on anyway. That's how you achieve greatness. And I believe that's what's going to be happening this year. Now, I really don't talk about the big major problems in the United States, not Pacific problems. And the reason is, like I say, these are symptoms. They're symptoms of the corruptness. They're symptoms of the immorality that goes on in our country. They're the symptoms of what happens when you don't follow the Constitution. And when you have people in positions that don't go along with the Constitution, even though they swore allegiance to the Constitution, the Constitution isn't going to work. That is when morals comes in. You have morals and you have the sense of duty. And that's how you achieve greatness. Now, what puzzles me is I have no problem in my own little world. I can handle my own little world. That's why you don't hear me talking about stuff about Washington or the Oklahoma City, the capital for Oklahoma. I don't talk about that kind of stuff. And that's because these are things that are out of my reach. And I say what's in those positions are immoral and unconstitutional people. So for me to make a difference, it's not going to happen. But for here, in my world, you see, this is my world here. This is what you see. This is my world in the United States. This is my world. And I can achieve greatness, even though it's going to be only for me. That's what's going to count. And what concerns me, since I've been back this trip, I've seen a lot of weak people. These are the Americans. These are the people that the rest of the world used to look up to. And to see them on the ground, not only they're on their knees, but like I say, they're being pushed. They're pushed down on the ground. You got the boot on your neck. You know, I mean, to see that, it's really strange for me. And one thing is, like I say, I'm not used to this. I live in Guatemala. I just come up and I see it, and then I leave, and then I come back, and it gets worse. I say I see it. When I left, I could see everybody was looking to see how they can get on their knees. I wasn't even going to get on my knees. That's why I left the country. And, but I say, and like I've said, when the time comes, I will return. And, but what I've noticed is not only people now are on their knees, like I say, they're down on the ground. You can't get any lower than this. What I can see is the people are being pushed more and more and more. And what's going to happen is, you know, and they just bitch. That's what I think is funny. They just bitch. Nobody's got a plan. They just bitch. Nobody's working on what they can do to take care of their world. They're not doing things. And I've already mentioned, I don't even know how you want to do it when you're living in the city. You really, and that's why most people now are in the cities. So then, and the trend has been get people out of the country, get people dependent instead of independent. And that's the part that concerns me. I don't know when we go through this change this year. I see it going, we're going through it right now. And I don't know if it's just going to be a bunch of wimps, a bunch of has-beens, you know, Americans great, that's a has-been kind of thing. It's not that Americans are great anymore. The wolves are surrounding us. And I'm not quite sure if we are going to allow ourselves to be devoured, or are we going to take the moral strength and do our moral duties? I'm not sure. And the only one reason that where we even have a chance, and that is we have guns. Like I say, in Guatemala, the people took steps and they closed the roads down, and they were able to get the president and vice president out of office, and then after they were out of office, they had them thrown in jail. And they don't have guns. They're used to not having weapons to defend themselves. That's why they get exterminated every so many years. They get wiped out, and it keeps them weak, and it keeps them, I hate to say stupid, but it does, because they depend on the government for education. Really, if they got away from the government and just had teachers just taking information off the internet, would be enough. They could really get smart. But they don't want them to get too smart, because once they get too smart, they're going to realize the power that they have. And they can prosper as individuals. Down there, they keep them all thinking they are part of, they work, everything is teamwork. Everything is teamwork. They don't promote strong individuals. That's not something they want. The only strong individuals are the rich ones. And I'm not saying the rich want to keep the poor stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the poor don't want to excel. And I've mentioned this before because communism, socialism, they spread the same garbage. And that is, you have this pie, and there's only so many pieces in this pie, and you've got to try to get this much. We control the pie, and we are going to distribute so much of this pie. In reality, the United States, the Americans that built the United States and made the United States a great nation were strong individuals that didn't wait to be distributed a piece of the pie. They created more pies. And that's what I don't see happening in the United States. I don't see more pies being generated. I see more people with their hand out looking for a piece. And I say the government does all its best to keep people from making more pies. That's what all the regulations and the laws and all this crap is all about. Agenda 21, UN, all this kind of stuff is a New World Order. They want to control the pie making and distributing the pieces of pie. The people that live out in the country, they're making their own pies. They're growing their gardens. They've got livestock. They're independent people. Individuals. They come together in households. They come together in the block, in the neighborhood, in the community to make more pies. I'm sure the same thing can be done in the city. But you're going to have to think like that first. You're going to have to stop focusing on a piece. And you're going to have to start focusing on how to make the pie. That's the part that I don't have completely figured out yet. Is there enough strong individuals left in our great nation to make pies? This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.